abclearning.com.
সুপ্রিয় দর্শক, এবিসি লার্নিং ঢাকার পক্ষ থেকে সবাইকে স্বাগতম। আমরা আজকের পর্ব শুরু করার পূর্বেই চলুন একটু দেখে নেই বিগত পর্বে আমরা কি নিয়ে আলোচনা করছিলাম।
Dear viewers, in last video or in last chapter we talked about why the auditor can't give you guarantee or absolute assurance. Rather, the auditor gives reasonable assurance for audit work and limited assurance for review work. And why the auditors cannot give absolute assurance we discussed in details. So I hope you have watched that video and understood what I explained on that part. That was very important. I discussed some reasons why the auditor cannot give absolute assurance.
সুপ্রিয় দর্শকবৃন্দ, তাহলে চলুন শুরু করে আজকের পর্ব। তার পূর্বে আপনি যদি নতুন ভিউয়ার হন তাহলে অবশ্যই চ্যানেলটি সাবস্ক্রাইব করে নিন, যাতে নতুন ভিডিও রিলিজ হওয়ার সাথে সাথে আপনি নোটিফিকেশন পান। শেয়ার করুন যাতে আপনার বন্ধু, আপনার প্রিয়জন ভিডিওটি দেখতে পায়, এবং লাইক কমেন্ট দিয়ে আমাকে জানান যাতে আপনাদের মতামতের উপর ভিত্তি করে আমরা ভিডিও তৈরি করতে পারি। তাহলে চলুন শুরু করি আমাদের আজকের পর্ব।
Viewers, welcome back to today's session. Today we are going to discuss some small issues which are not likely to be held in your exam directly. Rather, it will help you to understand auditor's work. And today we will discuss types of auditor, need for financial statement audit or advantages of an audit, difference between internal and external audit, auditing and accounting differences. So these are the small issues, but these are important for learning or audit course. Let us discuss one by one. The first one is the types of auditor. Here we see there are many types of auditor, but for the time being I will discuss only the 4 types of auditors, which are as follows. First one is external auditor. An external auditor performs independent third party reviews that I discussed earlier. When you appoint auditor to express an opinion regarding the financial statement, that auditor must be independent third party, and he or she will evaluate all accounting records such as purchase documents, payroll, investment, stock, loan, etc. Here we see the external audit usually done by registered CA firm in our country. Another one is internal auditor, an employee of a company charged with providing independent and objective evaluation of the company's financial and operational business activities, including corporate governance, partnership, government agencies, and many other works. Usually, internal auditor is appointed by the management and they works on behalf of the management, not on behalf of the shareholders. And usually the internal auditor sees the following things like communication with the management, setting the objectives, searching for documents or checking documents, interviews, scope, follow-up. Lots of works are usually done by internal auditor as part of the management or as an employee of the company. So internal auditor can be a qualified chartered accountant or may not be a qualified chartered accountant, but better to be he or she is a qualified chartered accountant, so that when the external audit takes place, there is a more likely to the reliance of the internal audit. Then another type of auditing is government audit. A government auditor Auditors employed by the government are called government auditor. Like they are the employees of the government, and usually all governmental activities, government offices are usually audited by the government auditor, right? In Bangladesh, Comptroller and Auditor General is assigned or is responsible to do all kinds of audit work by the governmental activities. But there are some exceptional cases if government require certain expertise or certain skilled, knowledgeable person for certain reason, then government may appoint external auditor from the chartered accountancy firm regarding on a specific matter. In that case, the government may not have sufficient expertise to give the recommendation or give the advice. In such case, the government may hire some expertise from outside the government, or the government is planning to investigate a big fraud or electronic crime, but the government may not have sufficient expertise in this case. Here the government may appoint external auditor to work with the government. Another type of sophisticated branch of auditor is called forensic auditor. So to be a forensic auditor, it is a rigorous and sophisticated type of auditing who must require certain knowledge on criminology, investigative auditing, computer science, law, accounting, and lots of other things for giving an expert opinion regarding on a certain or special cases. So forensic auditor are employed by the corporation, government agencies, public accounting firms and consulting and investigating service firms. They are trained in detecting, investigating and detailing fraud and white collar crimes, usually the big crimes that takes place like $1 million crimes or electronic crimes. For those cases of government audit, for those cases government or a special company or corporation appoints forensic auditors. So in few days ago, maybe in last year, there was a big fraud in Bangladesh Bank in where general knowledge or the day-to-day routine activities may not be applicable for identifying those big fraudsters. That's why government or the Bangladesh Bank may appoint forensic auditor to investigate or to find out the channel of fund transfer from one country to another country. Now we see the need of financial statement audit or advantages of audit. This is as usual traditional study. Just have a look, and I told you earlier such types of question is not likely to be held in your exam directly, rather it will be held in different way. However, the knowledge of this study can help you to answer those questions. First one is errors and frauds are located at any early date, and in future no attempt is made to commit such frauds, or one rather careful not to commit an error or fraud, as the accounts are subject to regular audit. Usually if your activities or if your company is regularly audited, if any error or misstatement is found out, and there is a less possibility to be held again in future if regularly audited the company. Then the auditing of accounts keep the accounts clerk regular and vigilant, as they know that the auditors would complain against them if the accounts are not prepared up to date or if there is any irregularities. Usually the management or the shareholders get some opinion regarding the management activities, regarding the accounting system of the company. That's why the employees or the accounts clerks are aware of finding out their mistakes so that they cannot do the same mistakes once again. In case of fire, the insurance company may settle the claim on the basis of the audited accounts of the previous years. That means if the fire takes place in your company, then your insurance claim will be done, or your insurance claim will be mitigated or will be solved based on your audit report. Then money can be borrowed on the basis of previous audited balance sheet. Then if you want to take some loan from the bank first will ask you to give or to provide audited financial statement regarding the financial position of the company, whether what is the debt equity ratio, what is the asset position, what is the liability position of the company, total sales, expenditures, profit margin, gross profit margin, net profit margin. Such types of things will help you to get bank loan. 5. If the business is to be sold as a going concern, there will not be much difficulty regarding the valuation of asset and goodwill, as the accounts have already been subject to audited by an independent person. For example, it's a part of the due diligence procedure that say you are going to sell your business, and the buyer will seek first the audited financial statement, what is the asset position and what is the liability position of the company, and based on your asset and liability your company will be valued. Income tax authorities usually accept audited financial statement to calculate the tax based on their profit or loss mentioned in the audited financial statement, and the management may consult the auditor and seek his advice as part of non-audit services. Usually management takes some non-audit services from the auditor, such as cash management, accounts receivable valuation. We discussed these things earlier in details for non-audit works or review works, or as part of agreed upon procedures. Usually auditor do some work for the management. Now at a glance we see the difference between internal auditor and external auditor. In the meantime, you have understood what is the difference between internal auditor and external auditor. The main difference is internal auditor works as part of the management and he or she is appointed by the management, and external auditor or statutory auditor is appointed by the shareholders and the work for the greater benefit of the shareholders. Now everything is given in detail, so I am not going to discuss in detail, just have a look for your understanding. Rather I am going here on a table to make it understand. Position inside the organization. The internal auditors are part of the organization that I discussed earlier. Their objectives are determined by professional standards, the board, the management. Their primary clients are management and the board. That means mainly they will report to the management and the board or the board of directors, because they are appointed by the management. On the other hand, external auditors are not part of the organization or part of the management. Rather, they are appointed on behalf of the shareholders. An objective of internal auditor is to help the management regarding the improvement of the system and the process, whether it is working as it is or not. And objective of external auditor is to express an opinion regarding the financial statement of the company, and it is usually done annually. And independence, you see, the internal auditor is appointed by the management, so lack of independence over here, and they work according to the management's instruction. And external audit is independent from its client, the organization, its independence being specific to liberal professions. And applying of the audit, internal audit covers all organizational transactions, and external audit covers only those operations that have a contribution at the financial results and the performance of the organization. And there are other things. Frequency of audit, usually it is done when it is required, and usually it is done once in a year or once at the end of the year. And approach of fraud, internal audit is concerned about the frauds from all activities from the organization, both financial and non-financial, like some behavioral issues, some misconduct with the employees, with the colleagues, financial embezzlement. So all activities are usually concerned with the internal audit, but external audit is only concerned regarding the financial fraud or the financial irregularity or the financial irregularities. Now we see another topic, accounting and auditing differences, and I am discussing here few more topics together. That's why the video is going to be longer, so I am trying to make it brief. And yet there are lots of differences between accounting and auditing. So accounting is the activity of record keeping and preparation and presentation of financial statement, and whereas auditing is an activity of verification and evaluation of financial statement. That is, accounting works are usually checked by the auditors. And accounting means systematically keeping the records of accounts and of an organization, and preparation of financial statements at the end of the financial year, where auditing means inspection of books and accounts and financial statements of an organization. Accounting is recorded based on accounting standards, and auditing work is done based on standards on auditing, like Bangladesh standards on auditing, international standards on auditing, etc. And the work which is done by the accounting is called accountant, and likewise the auditing work done by the person is called auditor. These are the very silly differences. Yes, I am discussing this. And the performance is to show the profitability and the financial position of the organization, and here the purpose is to express an opinion whether the financial statement provides or gives true and fair view. And accounting starts where the bookkeeping ends, and auditing starts where the accounting ends. And usually accounting is continuous process, it is recorded all the year round, and auditing work is done on a periodic process. So these are some of the very easy differences. I think you have read this in your earlier studies. Just to keep in mind, just I am giving you some revisions over here. And auditor's responsibility, the primary responsibility of the auditor is to express an opinion regarding the financial statement of the company, whether it shows true and fair, and it is free from fraud and error. And we also discuss later on what is fraud and error. Usually fraud intentionally and error is unintentional. And there are some other responsibilities. Let us see at a glance. Perform procedures to obtain information that is used to identify the risk of material misstatement due to fraud. Identify and assess the risk of material misstatement due to fraud at the financial statement level and the assertion level. I told you earlier what is assertion. Assertion is a kind of statement which is given by the management, and auditor works, and the auditor performs their works based on the management assertion. And sometimes see there is a difference between financial statement assertion and financial statement. That's why auditor is to find out those misstatements and determine overall response to address the risk of material misstatement due to fraud at the financial statement level. And usually the auditor identifies the material misstatement and calculate the value of that material statement, whether this is a big difference or minor difference. The auditor tries to find out, or the auditor tries to figures out those material misstatement in the financial statement. Design and perform audit procedures to respond to the risk of management override of controls. That means the auditor tries to find out whether the management is capable of conducting or the controlling the company's activities regularly. They also monitors also see such types of operations and obtain written representation from the management relating to fraud. Usually when the fraud takes place and when the auditor finds out the fraud, then they take written representation, they take written statement from the management so that they can provide or they can produce those written statement in times of danger or at the time of court sue. And finally they communicate with management and those charged with governance. Usually the governance, which is the part of the board of directors or the directors or with the independent directors. You know, there are two types of directors in the board. One is independent directors and another one is executive directors. Usually the corporate governance or the governance work is the communication with the management, top management, and the auditing activities. If we get enough time later on, we will discuss the function of governance or the corporate governance. So these are the overall discussion of today's class, and few issues have been discussed all together because these are not so much importance. Rather, you need not to memorize everything line by line. What you have to do, you have to just listen them carefully, and when you will get the situation to insert this information in other areas, just take the information and use these information to other parts of the question as part of reference or as for understanding. So viewers, hope you have understood the things that I discussed today. A few things, that means the type of auditor, need of financial statement audit, for example the types of auditor, need for financial statement audit or advantages of audit, difference between internal audit, external audit, accounting and auditing differences, and final auditor's responsibility. Again, we will be discussing the auditor's responsibility later on, some primary responsibilities and some secondary responsibilities. So viewers, let us finish today. Hopefully we will see you in next video of the very important one. Thank you everybody. Bye bye.
সুপ্রিয় দর্শক, আপনাদের অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ এতক্ষণ সাথে থাকার জন্য। আমরা শেষ করার পূর্বে চলুন দেখে নেই আপনাদের জন্য আগামী পর্বে কি থাকছে। ততক্ষণ আপনারা ভালো থাকুন, সুস্থ থাকুন, সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ।
Dear viewers, in next video we are planning to discuss the big issue materiality for the auditor, and we will discuss what is materiality, what is material information, what is immaterial information, what is materiality threshold, and why do we need materiality, how to calculate materiality for new companies, for existing companies, for old companies. Very important one for the auditors. So please stay with us and keep watching that part. Thank you. Bye bye.